I'm going to tell you everything you need to know if you want to ride an electric scooter. Hello, welcome to Trip Hacks DC. My name is Rob. I'm a tour guide here in the nation's capital. If you're coming to Washington, DC and you're looking for the best tips, tricks, and hacks for exploring the city, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification icon so that you don't miss any future videos. And if you're interested in signing up for a Trip Hacks DC tour, head on over to triphacksdc.com afterwards to see the tours that we offer. On almost every tour that I have given in 2019, someone has asked, hey, what's the deal with all these scooters? And while you can find these scooters in many major cities across the country these days, I also appreciate that not everybody lives in a big city. Electric scooters came onto the scene around 2018 and have exploded ever since. And while it may seem to the untrained eye that there are scooters abandoned everywhere, that's actually just how the system is set up. You take a scooter, ride it to where you need to go, and leave it once you get there. Then, at the end of the day, someone comes and picks them up, takes them to charge them, and then drops them back on the street the next day. These scooters look almost exactly like the old Razor scooters you might remember from your childhood, except of course that they're electric and you don't have to kick them everywhere. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about these scooters, and then we'll go outside and I'll show you exactly how to use them. If you have ridden an electric scooter, either in DC or another city, leave a comment on this video and let everyone know whether you think it's a great way to get around, a terrible way to get around, or somewhere in between. Otherwise, let's get started. Right now in Washington, DC, scooters are seemingly everywhere. The companies that currently run these scooters are Bird, Lime, Spin, Skip, Lyft, and Jump by Uber. Each company has its own app, which means you'll need to download a bunch of different ones and create a bunch of different accounts, unless you're just gonna pick one and stick with it. Scooters are not free, and in my opinion, not even cheap. In fact, the main reason why I don't personally use scooters is because of the cost. Each company is different, but generally speaking, you will pay an unlock fee to unlock the scooter, and then a usage fee charged per minute that you ride it. The unlock fee is usually around $1, and then the usage fee is somewhere between a quarter and 30 cents, depending on the specific scooter company. Now that might not initially sound like a lot, but keep in mind that a 30-minute scooter ride under that system will cost you around $10. By comparison, a 30-minute ride on Capital Bike Share will only cost you $2. So, if you're on a budget but plan to do a lot of scooting, this can really add up quick. Now, before we talk about riding the scooter, we need to go over the ground rules. And yes, when you come to DC, you will see each and every single one of these rules broken. But if you want to ride a scooter and do it by the book, these are the rules, and you should follow them. Number 1, kids are not allowed. Even though we typically think of scooters as toys, these things are not toys, and kids are not allowed on them. The scooter companies require their riders to be at least 18 years or older. Second, only one person per scooter. These things are just not safe enough to transport more than one person. Third, you can't end your trip outside of the company's service area. And the National Mall is not part of the service areas. But if you do plan to break this one, don't ride the scooters in the memorials. It's not just illegal, but it's totally disrespectful and obnoxious, especially the war memorials. Fourth, when you're finished with the ride, you can't just leave the scooter anywhere. You have to leave the scooter in the service area, in a public place, and away from pedestrians. One of the reasons why scooters have become such a huge lightning rod is because people keep leaving them right in the middle of the sidewalk, instead of off and out of the way. And fifth, you need to wear a helmet. Probably less than 1% of scooter riders actually follow this one, because when you come here, you're not going to be traveling with a helmet. But it is the rule. Okay, so now that we've got all of that out of the way, let me show you exactly how to ride a scooter. The first thing you obviously need to do is find one. Depending on exactly where you are, this could be as simple as stumbling down the street until you come upon one. But if you're using the apps, you can just look on the app to see exactly where they're located. Once you get to your scooter, look for a QR code, probably on the top or somewhere on the front. Open the app on your phone, and assuming that you've already created your account, set up your credit card information, and loaded it with money, you'll click on the Start Your Ride button. This will open up your phone's camera app, which will let you scan the QR code on the actual scooter. Once you've done that, depending on the company, the scooter will either play a sound or the app will give you a notification to confirm that your ride has started. Now, the scooters don't all look exactly the same. Some have taller handlebars, some have shorter handlebars, some have wider boards, some have thinner boards, but they all function basically the same way. The scooter will have a button for the throttle, or what you could think of as the gas, and a brake, which will probably look like the standard brake you'd see on a bicycle. In order to activate the electric motor, you have to give the scooter 1 or 2 manual kicks. This is a safety feature to keep the scooter from taking off on you when you're not already moving. Now, the first time you ride one of these things, it will take a few moments to get used to it. So I do not recommend taking these things immediately out into traffic. When you reach your destination, make sure to put the scooter in a public place and out of the way. Then reopen your app and tap the button to finish your ride. The scooter will probably play a nice little noise, and then congrats, you've completed your first scooter ride. Now, like I said earlier, I personally find scooters to be way too expensive as a means of getting around. I also feel much less safe on a scooter than I do on a regular bike. So for those 2 reasons, I do not use scooters for personal transportation. But if you're here on vacation, it can be a fun novelty and an okay way to get from place to place. The biggest disadvantage, at least in 2019, is that you either have to have multiple accounts with multiple apps, or you just stick to 1 or 2, but then limit the amount of scooters that are available to you. Now, maybe that will change in the future as these scooter companies start consolidating. I don't really know. But maybe a good place to start would be with the Lyft scooters, for the simple reason that if you already have a Lyft account, you can use the same app without having to create a new account or enter your credit card information. And then if you like it, maybe you try out one of the other companies. And that's it! Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, you can subscribe to this channel by clicking on the TripHacks DC logo, which is popping up right now at the bottom of the screen. And if you're coming to DC and want to sign up for a TripHacks DC tour, you can click on the Capitol Dome on the left side of my head. That'll send you over to triphacksdc.com, where you can see all of the tours that we offer. Enjoy your trip!